Dan wouldn't like this, but I thought he's a better prospect than Dan was coming out of high school. You know, in terms of doing things, but you know, now does he have that same work ethic? But I think that's one thing that, you know, we're only going to take one quarterback, and you know, he's the guy we wanted and we got, and you know, now I think, you know, that position there with the four that we have, you know, gives us a lot of good depth and a lot of good competition, you know, and that's what we hope to continue to build at each and every position, because we're not where we need to be at the other positions, you know, like we are now at quarterback.
How about running back Randy? You've got Gillespie from Capital Prep. What does he bring to the table?
He's got speed. He's got speed. He's got athletic ability. He's a guy that is very conscientious. He's got the ability to make people miss. You know, gives us a dimension that, you know, better speed than what we've had there, and comes from a really good family. You know, he's a young man that wants to work. He's a guy that, like I said, he can catch the ball coming out of the backfield. He's very, he can return, a returner as well. So there's a lot of versatility that he brings, but he's got the ability to make people miss, and he's got the ability to make big plays, either running or catching the ball.
Randy, with all the things that are going on now in the world with these young people, is your character evaluation a little more detailed than it used to be?
Yeah, I think so, because again, because of all the things that go on out there. I mean, there's guys that might have had the ability, but because of some character issues, we stayed away from. We weren't going to be involved with them. So yeah, that is important to me, because I want to be around. I want to be around talented people, but I want to be around talented, good people. You know, guys that want to work and guys that want to do things, you know, the right way.
But you have to ask more questions now than you used to. You need more.
Yeah, you can also find out a lot, Joe, by just following these kids on social media, and you'll find out exactly what type of young men they are. And that's why, you know, that's why it's important. One of the parents said to one of the coaches, and they were here a couple times. She said one of the things that she liked about Coach Edsel was the fact that you saw him. He did a lot of observing. He didn't do a lot of talking sometimes. He just sat back off in the background and just watched. You know, and again, I think that's one thing you do, that I try to do, is I try to sit back and watch and observe people, because I can find out more. They're going to tell me more about who they are when they don't think anybody's looking. And you know, that's important to me. You know, and you know, one of the young men that we recruited, I was just saw him last week and sitting with his high school coach, and he was just very appreciative about how we go about doing what we do in terms of recruiting. You know, because we don't have committable offers and non-committable offers, and you know, all these things that are out there now and everything else, that we're, you know, very upfront and honest. You know, and that's the same thing. You know, you try to, you know, find that, you know, with the kids. You know, and then, you know, the other thing too is, you know, what you try to do is you find out, you know, is a young man willing to take responsibility for his actions, or is he blaming somebody else for this or that? You know, so those are all the things that you look at, and like I said, I just think that you know, all my experiences that I've had, you know, in this game as a head coach and as assistant, there's things that maybe I look for that, you know, other people might not look for, and because I think I've seen it, you know, the type of young men that, you know, you're going to be able to win with, you know, as opposed to maybe some of those guys who have talent but don't have the character or the work ethic that's needed to fit into an organization to allow you to win consistently, you know, like you like to.
Who are the ones enrolling in January?
We'll have Noel and Shamel Zarius.
Randy, could you update us on any other roster movement? 3 players, I believe, went to social media.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. If anybody wants to, I'll set something up with Kyle tomorrow, but I don't, today is about, you know, these guys. So anything from a roster standpoint or anything from the season, I'd get into tomorrow on a teleconference, or if anybody wants to come here and sit down, I'll be more than happy, as long as it's early in the morning. I'll be more than happy, you know, to do that, but I don't want to get into that to take away from, you know, what today's all about.
How are these months, you used to sign in February, and this time of year would be all about leading up to February. How are these next couple of months different now